Antigua Shipyard, the first map for this best of 5 series. Obviously a fantastic shout out over to IPL4, David Ting. We have the VIP in the front row as well. Thank you IPL and hello for bringing us this fantastic tournament here in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Please give it up for IGN for bringing this to the UK. What a wonderful tournament it's been so far. While playing, I might add, it would be pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you your first contestant in this matchup on the Antigua Shipyard, hailing from France and Team Millennium, the IPL3 champion. Please let me hear some noise for Stephano. And his opponents, having demolished 2 Koreans, he is the assassin. He is from the Quantic Gaming, and of course he is currently staying in Korea, flown all the way over for this tournament. Jet lag does not seem to be a problem for him. Let me hear it for your Protoss player, SaSe.
And this is not the MLG version, it is the IPL3 version, so there is this position down in the bottom right, not just only cross position. You can pretty much spawn anywhere here, of course. And the thing is, SaSe, here we have the pylon inside his base. We talked about this before. SaSe was pretty much the only player I've seen on every single map go for a pylon inside the main base so he can actually throw the gateway down. And the reasoning behind it is simply because he doesn't want to go ahead and say to the Zerg player, go ahead and drone for 8 minutes, maybe yeah. 8 minutes 30, you can just drone, I don't care. In this regard, he wants to go ahead and throw down that gateway down, and we can see it going quite late actually, down at 14. He wants to be economy focused, but at the same time wants the ability to pressure the Zerg player if he can.
Yeah, and he'll just hang around and make sure that his opponents are not able to place down the quick hatchery. Stephano had no intention of doing that anyway. Puts down his spawning pool on 14. He can still delay it a little bit. He may decide to place down a pylon and then cancel after that. In the meantime, SaSe with the second pylon inside the base here, not showing any signs of building outside right now. Doesn't want to do that, playing really, really safe here. And I wouldn't blame him. He should have a lot of respect for Stephano, who has shown his skill time and again. All of the doubters should have evaporated by now, and if they haven't, then we could use this as a club to convince them.
And actually, look at this. Double gas taken already by SaSe before the Cybernet edits call. What this means is possibly a DT rush. It could be for a very, very heavy sentry, but that's the only other option, which is a little less likely. So I think we are going to see a Twilight Council go down very, very shortly here. And also, when you go double gas this early on, you can actually still afford to build a sentry, which disguises it a little bit, disguises your build, because your opponent will always count your sentry count and be like, all right, there's 1, there's 2 sentries, all right, there's his gas. But Stephano hasn't scouted with a drone at all. He doesn't have any overlords in decent position either, so he's not going to have a single idea what's going on here, and I think this is a very smart play here by SaSe.
Yeah, we'll see how this one goes on for him. At the moment, we've got SaSe just continuing to mine a large amount of gas, and that should almost be enough to go into Twilight Council, which he's actually not doing yet. He's going for the second gateway.
Yeah, I mean, he still can do very sentry heavy, which means he can go for an earlier attack with a lot of sentries, which means a lot of force fields available to him. So that is something to keep into consideration. Those are the 2 options. And also, if he wants to try to expand, also, he can be a lot more sentry heavy. And it looks like it is just going to be 3 gateways, not a Twilight Council. So he's going to be a lot more sentry heavy than he has been previously, which means he can start to put pressure on a lot earlier as well, and can also back out of pressure too, because he's going to have that many more force fields.
Yeah, he can, and it does also give him the ability to defend against any kind of crazy bust that's coming in his direction. Stephano's not really doing that. He is producing a fairly large number of Zerglings. He's going to be going up to 12 and putting down a spine crawler as well. But this is more of a defensive measure, I think, as opposed to anything else. He'll poke while he's got the speed upgrade and see if he can maybe force a few force fields, maybe get a run by here and there. It's worth a try, and of course he will be droning up behind that.
Well, he did see that the gateway is in the main base, and when you see that, it's usually for Zealot Stalker pressure, which is not coming out here. And will SaSe be able to? Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here if he doesn't back up against that wall.
Yeah, which is exactly what he's doing right there, and he is able to save one of the sentries. The other one will be eliminated. If he loses a second, that would not be good, and that is not a good start for SaSe right there, and a great engagement for Stephano. He must be absolutely thrilled that he's traded 8 Zerglings for 2 sentries. Well, it cannot seriously be another.
No, he does manage to wall himself in there once again, but basically, the reason why Stephano even had those units wasn't to put pressure on or to try and get a cancellation. he didn't know if it was 1 or 3 gateways. Usually it's 1 gateway with a Zealot and a couple of Stalkers to start pressuring the Zerg player. So he built units ready to anticipate that, but that didn't come. And unfortunately for SaSe, caught off guard by a couple of sentries here. And we do have a 4th gateway going down as well by SaSe. So he still wants to be sentry heavy. Basically going for double gas so early on has been nullified from the fact that he lost those 2 sentries, that second gas that fast got him early on.
Yeah, the forge coming down right here as well for SaSe just to get those upgrades started. He does have a lot of gas, he may as well. It also helps him create a partial wall up here at the ramp to try and prevent those Ling run-bys, and we saw the first one was extremely dangerous. Stephano is very, very good at that. He doesn't have a problem with it at all. He can come in at just the right time. He's got great control, and he can do a surprising amount of damage with so few forces. An interesting choice to go for hallucination right there for SaSe, looking to scout but without getting a robotics facility.
And he also has the 3rd gas really early here as well, so I'm interested to see what SaSe wants to back this up with. Probably going to throw down a robotics facility very, very shortly here, and I wonder if he's going to poke out as well. Meanwhile, we have the Roach one completed. Excuse me, 5 roaches are in the making too. Stephano's at this comfortable place where he's at 45 drones. He actually doesn't need to go higher than this unless SaSe shows interest of taking a 3rd base. And with this hallucinated Phoenix coming over, it's going to see the roaches in production and popping out as well. And 8 more drones surprisingly being made from Stephano, squeezing and cutting a few corners here as the evolution chamber is halfway complete as well. So if SaSe was to push out very, very shortly, remember he does have 4 gateways, that could be a little bit surprising to Stephano.
Yeah, definitely. And the lair has now started for Stephano as well, looking to try and get the tech up there. +1 attack already coming in for missiles, and an interesting choice there by SaSe to go for the Twilight Council. And he doesn't want to go down the rover path right now, which is the reason, of course, that he went for hallucination. Instead, he needed something to scout. So I'm intrigued to see what he's going to do with this.
Well, basically, the Twilight Council timing here was so he can start +2 attack straight away. And he may want to also throw Blink in there also. I wonder if he's going to expand. No, he's not. He's actually pulling the probe with all his units now. So we are going to start to see a bit of pressure here from SaSe here. He has quite a few decent sentries with a nice energy count here. So he's going to be able to produce a lot of force fields. But there's 14 roaches in production right now. And already Stephano pulls his drones off that 3rd base, knowing it's in danger.
Yep, he smells what's cooking in this regard. He can definitely see it now. He sees what's going on. A hallucinated Void Ray pot there, that's not something that Stephano's going to fall for. He's already seen 2 Phoenixes just fly to their death, so that is not going to happen. But it does give him some information, and of course, the Void Ray is just a little bit tougher there, giving him time to have a look and see what's going on. Now breaking his way through here, and the 3rd base, just like Stephano's simply going to sacrifice it and may just charge into trade.
I don't think he doesn't want to trade. What he wants to do is come around and flank and make sure this doesn't escape, because when a Protoss player kills that hatchery, you cannot let them get away for free for doing that. And SaSe realizes he's in a little bit of trouble right now because there's a lot of units being made. Roach speed is not far away, as well as +1. The thing is that Blink is not far away. If Blink finishes in time, then I think we might even see Stephano be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and Stephano's actually going to push forward. He forced SaSe to go wide around the flank just to avoid an engagement in the center. What that does, however, allow SaSe to do is to engage there, and he also slices this force in half, which is a nice little bit of engagement technique. Does he have enough force fields to stop the roaches from wrecking everything, though? If he doesn't, this is going to be a crippling loss in the center. Reinforcements need to be brought in if he's going to survive. Stephano continuing to hammer away at the remainder of SaSe's army.
Yeah, he's already given up that army. He knows he's just going to run away. He knows they're all going to die, especially now Roach speed is done as well. And it looks like the sentry count and stalk is relatively low. We do have +2 on the way now as well, near completion. So even though the upgrade advantage is with SaSe, he got a little bit caught off guard, and great play from Stephano, really punishing the fact that that 3rd base did go down. Now he's able to get it up. Remember, the thing is that he didn't lose any drones in that, only the hatchery.
Yep.
And we do see that Overlord scouting the lack of expansion here from SaSe.
Yep, that'll be a nice free kill, but it doesn't really matter. Stephano is always prepared for that kind of stuff. He never gets supply blocked as a result of losing Overlords. It just simply does not happen. He thinks always at least 5 moves ahead, and SaSe will now expand, and I would imagine that Stephano expects that's happening, considering that he just got his Overlord picked off at that location. Stephano now taking the center, a very, very important thing to do on this particular map, allowing control, of course, of both gold bases if you can hold it. And in the meantime, SaSe will try and flank, but the supply counter not looking so great for SaSe at the moment.
Not at all. I mean, he doesn't really have that many units. Nice blink into the main, nice harassment using, I don't even know what he used to get in there, actually, thinking about that. Was it Hallucinated Phoenix or something? Magic to get into the main base. But at the same time now, he's got to be careful because Hydras are on the way out. And they are going to be able to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, and Stephano's going to try and trap the Stalkers from getting out of there. And he's going to need to bring down some fire support from there. He can certainly do some damage and try to flank around the side here. Maybe just catch Stephano out, but I think Stephano's army is just too large for that to work. And SaSe blinking away 2 or 3 Stalkers at a time. Now trying to bring around because he knows that there's some aggression coming onto that third base. Stephano shouldn't really have enough units to do this, particularly with persistent warpins and blink micro. But he's doing significant damage. And now Hydralisk coming in to reinforce. +2 almost completed now for Stephano as he continues to hammer away here. And SaSe may actually a cancel forced.
Yeah, cancellation on that third base. The worst scenario here for SaSe. Has a single Stalker in the main base of Stephano. I'm not sure how well that's going to go down as he blinks to kind of die anyway. But at the same time, Roaches and Hydras, Lings tearing down onto this base. And unfortunately for SaSe, he just simply doesn't have enough.
No, he really doesn't have enough to properly hold this. It would be crazy to see it happen. The +2's about to kick in as well, so suddenly those Hydralisks are going to be hitting that much harder, as will the Roaches. A blink to try and escape from that into the mineral line, waiting for more warpings, but there's nothing but units coming down right now from Stephano as he attempts to crush SaSe in his base. Hold position put in there to try and block off these forces. Some excellent blink micro coming in from SaSe as well to try and drive this in. A warp in into that, but it's easily cleaned up. So many upgrades for the attack for both of these units. More Roaches coming in to reinforce now. SaSe desperately trying to hold on, but he's lost that base. A gold base has been taken behind that, and even if he holds out against this, the amount of damage he's taken is absurd.
Yeah, and there's going to be so many more units just streaming over and over and over. He's taken the gold base, that proxy hatch in the middle of the map to be able to reinforce, and SaSe is on the back foot right now, losing so many probes, has lost 22 probes overall, is trying to hang on for as long as possible, but it looks like he's just about to hang on. But once the gold base is up and running, Stephano 63 drones versus 34 probes. SaSe does have +3, which has really helped him push this away as it just finished, and he is going to finally hold on. But right now, Stephano just needs to grab all his units all together as one, stop streaming in individually, and he'll be able to beat this small army of SaSe's.
Yeah, SaSe's army is extremely small. We're looking at 58 supply versus 121, a very significant difference here. And SaSe not out of it yet, and he knows that, but it is looking very, very unlikely to be able to pull it back. He would have to at least try and destroy the gold. Stephano has no intention of allowing that to happen.
Well, SaSe needs to get a third base up, more importantly. He's running very low in his main base in minerals, and then he'd only be mining from 1 base against Stephano, who's happily mining from 4 at this current point in time. And these Stalkers, even with Blink, are going to lose extremely fast here.
Yeah, he doesn't want that to happen. And this is the problem when he takes the gold base, that it's also a proxy hatchery to stream units from directly into the third of the Protoss, especially in these positions. It's very, very unpleasant indeed. And obviously, SaSe is extremely concerned about that. He cannot re-expand there. If he does, Hydralisks and Roaches will just come down and that will melt. There will be nothing left of it. And SaSe just continuing to try and poke away as much as he can, pick off a unit here, a unit there to try and get things rolling again, but he still can't re-expand.
Oh, no matter how good SaSe's control is, I can't see him winning this fight. I mean,
No.
2 1 upgrades, 3 1 upgrades for SaSe. Does have good upgrades, but at the end of the day, there are way too many Hydras here. There are 27 Hydras against nothing that can actually stop them.
Yeah, and here they come crashing down on the remainder of SaSe's army, and the Blink Stalker micromanagement is as always exceptional, but he is fighting very much an uphill battle right here. A great Hydralisk concave to annihilate the remainder of SaSe's army. It's melting before your very eyes. GG, ladies and gentlemen.
GG indeed.
Very well played there by Stephano.